We had a campaign that we were doing for TELUS, and the campaign was centered around this idea of connection. Or one of the angles that we pitched them on was this idea that TELUS at the time had run more fiber optic cable than any other telco in the world. Because if you think about Canada, you think about, well, it's something like 90% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the border, but there is so much industry that goes on way above that. You've got mining operations, you've got oil operations, you've got forestry. And so you've got people spread out all over these remote locations throughout Canada. TELUS was building towers all over the place in these remote areas so that these workers and these people who are out there would have that connectivity. So we said, what if we travel out to some of these remote places and we tell stories about why connection matters here? We found this young couple who had moved up to Prince George, and I think like 2 weeks after they had moved there, the husband was immediately gone for like a week and a half at this mining operation, 300 miles away. And I mean, when I say mining operation, we're talking like they are digging out a mountain and moving it like 100 miles north. That's the scale of these mining operations. We knew that this girl had been up there for about 8 months, pretty much on her own for the most part, hadn't seen her parents. So what we did was we got in touch with this guy, the husband, and we said, listen, why don't we fly up there and tell a story about connectivity with you guys and how much it matters? And why don't we fly her parents up without telling her and surprise her? And it was really risky because we came to her house and interviewed her about connection. We were like, oh, do you ever chat with your parents? And she's like, I chat with my parents every single day. We're like, can we get them on like a computer screen or something? And she's got, the little TELUS dongle plugged into her computer, getting, Wi-Fi off of that. They're connecting and they're talking about how much they miss each other. And they're at a hotel in town and she has no idea. We have the husband pick her up, drive her out to a park somewhere and kind of, drop her off there and say, hey, I'm gonna run and grab some stuff for a picnic or whatever. And we bring the parents in and we have her on this dock looking out over the water. We knew that if she turned around before we told her to, it would be ruined, And we also knew that if she turned around and was just like, what the hell are you guys doing here? It would also be ruined because it's not the vibe that we're going for, right? Like we want to see emotions. But she turns around and she sees them and she just loses it. And her parents lose it and her husband loses it. And we're scrambling just to get every angle that we can and to capture this moment. And we got it, but there was a real inherent risk in going after that authentic of a story. But it did turn out that way. And I think that there's a lot of elements within filmmaking that go into that. You have to know that the people that you're talking to, you can get that out of them. You have to know that you can kind of build to those moments.